You think you're being careful, you think you're being open, you think you're just communicating. But right now, without realizing it too, are giving people leverage over you. Not because they're smarter, not because they're stronger, because you talk too much. You speak to fill silence. You explain when no one asked. You react when you should pause. And every word feels harmless in the moment, but words don't disappear, they settle, they linger, they get remembered by the wrong people. Right now, someone knows more about you than they should. Your doubts, your plans, your limits. Not because they earned your trust, but because you handed it to them. Most people don't lose power dramatically. They leak it quietly. Sentence by sentence, detail by detail, reaction by reaction. You've been trained to believe that speaking is safety, that silence is awkward, that quiet means weakness. So, the moment a pause appears, your body panics. You rush to explain. You soften your position. You joke. You reveal. And just like that, the balance shifts. The person across from you relaxes. They didn't have to push. They didn't have to threaten. They just waited. Machiavelli warned about this centuries ago. Not armies, not weapons, the mouth. Because people are not destroyed by what they hide. They're destroyed by what they reveal. You don't notice it happening because it feels normal, polite, even likable. But being likable is not the same as being respected. And respect is where power lives. When you speak without intention, you make yourself readable, predictable, manageable. People begin to anticipate you. They know when you'll justify yourself. They know when you'll get emotional. They know when you'll overcommit. You think they understand you. What they really understand is how to move you. Silence, on the other hand, does something it removes their access. When you don't rush to speak, the pressure flips. They feel exposed instead of you. They wonder what you're thinking. They start revealing themselves. Silence is not empty. It is a mirror, and most people cannot stand what it reflects back at them. This is why silence feels heavy, why your chest tightens, why your mind screams to say something, anything. That urge is weakness, trying to escape. The person who can sit in silence without flinching controls the interaction, not by force, by discipline. This isn't about becoming cold, it's about becoming deliberate, about knowing when speech moves the board and when it only gives away your position. Right now your mouth is not a tool, it's a leak. And until you learn to close it, people will continue to read you, anticipate you, and use what you give them. This video is not here to make you paranoid, it's here to make you precise. Because once you see how often your words betray you, you can't unsee it. And once you learn to hold silence without fear, everything about how people treat you begins to change. This is where it starts. To the silence vacuum, there is a moment that decides who holds power in any interaction. It happens faster than you expect. And most people lose without realizing it. The conversation stops. No one speaks. For a split second, everything is balanced. And then your body reacts. Your chest tightens. Your mind starts searching for words. You feel an urge to fix something that isn't broken. Silence feels wrong to you. Not because it is wrong, but because you were trained to fear it. Your brain interprets silence as rejection, as judgment, as danger. So you rush to escape it. You speak. And the moment you do, the balance breaks. This is called the silence vacuum. And it is one of the most reliable traps in human interaction. You might be in a meeting, a negotiation, a date, a disagreement. The other person stops talking and waits. They don't pressure you. They don't threaten you. They don't even move. They just wait. And if they understand power even slightly, they know what will happen next. You will fill the silence. You will add details no one asked for. You will soften your position. You will explain something that didn't need explanation. Not because it's logical, because silence makes you uncomfortable. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He knew that most people betray themselves not under attack, but under stillness. Silence forces awareness, and most people cannot sit with themselves long enough to tolerate it. The one who breaks the silence first is usually the one with less power, because breaking silence is not communication, it is a request for relief. When you speak to end silence, you signal two things immediately. First, that you are uncomfortable being observed without feedback. Second, that you are seeking validation from the other person. You are saying, without saying it, please respond, please engage, please approve. And once that signal is sent, the dynamic shifts, the other person relaxes. They know they can control you simply by waiting. This is why experienced interrogators, negotiators, and strategists use silence deliberately. They ask a question, they make an offer, then they stop. They let the tension build. And tension always works on the person who fears silence. Watch what happens when you do not break it. The other person starts to move. They shift in their seat. They clear their throat. They start explaining themselves. They reveal urgency. They reveal insecurity. They reveal their real position. Silence. It becomes a mirror, and most people cannot tolerate what they see reflected back at them, so they talk. When you rush to fill silence, you rob yourself of this advantage. You give comfort to the other person instead of letting them earn it. Silence is not rude. It is not awkward. It is not empty. It is pressure, and pressure exposes truth. You have been trained to believe that talking equals confidence, that silence equals weakness. The truth is the opposite. The person who can sit in silence without fidgeting, without apologizing, without reaching for their phone controls the interaction. They are not rushed. They are not needy. They are not reactive. They are grounded. The next time silence appears, do not kill it. Let it sit. Let it grow heavy. Breathe slowly. Hold your posture. Keep your face neutral. Watch who breaks first. Because the one who breaks is showing you exactly where their weakness lives. And once you see that, you stop speaking out of habit. You start speaking with intent. 3. When explaining yourself becomes a confession, there is a moment where most people unknowingly give up their authority. It happens right after they feel questioned. Someone raises an eyebrow. Someone asks, "Why did you do it that way?" Someone hints that you might be wrong. And instantly, something inside you tightens. You feel the urge to explain. Not because you're guilty, not because you're wrong, but because you want to be understood. This is where the trap closes. The moment you start explaining yourself unnecessarily, you accept a dangerous position. You accept that you are being judged. They have the right to evaluate you. Your actions require approval. You may not say this out loud, but your behavior says it for you. And behavior is louder than words. Most people think explaining shows intelligence, that it proves transparency, that it builds trust. In reality, constant explanation signals uncertainty. High-status individuals do not narrate themselves. They decide, they act, they let results speak. The more you explain, the more you lower yourself into a defensive posture, and defense is weakness. Think carefully about how explanations sound. Well, what I meant was, I only did that because... Let me give you some context. Each sentence is a small retreat. You are backing away from your own decision. You are teaching people that if they apply enough pressure, you will fold and reveal more, and they will remember that. Machiavelli warned that authority weakens the moment it starts begging for understanding. Power does not ask to be understood. It assumes its right to exist. When you over-explain, you are not clarifying, you are pleading. You want the other person to say, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But notice what you're really asking. For permission. And once you train people that you need permission, they will withhold it. There is another hidden danger in explaining too much. You create openings. Every reason you give can be challenged. Every detail can be questioned. Every justification becomes a thread someone can pull. You hand them leverage. This is why skilled interrogators let people talk. They don't need to accuse you. They just let you explain yourself into a corner. The more you talk, the more contradictions appear. The more emotional you sound, the more defensive you seem. Even innocent people talk themselves into looking guilty. Silence, on the other hand, is clean. A short answer followed by nothing feels uncomfortable, but that discomfort transfers outward. Someone asks, "Why did you do this?" And you say, "Because it was the right decision." Then you stop. No apology. No story. No filler. That silence forces the other person to confront a boundary. They may not like it, but they will respect it. Respect comes from finality. If you made a mistake, own it briefly. Yes, that was an error. It's handled. Then stop. No excuses. No childhood backstory. No emotional cushioning. Ownership signals strength. Excuses signal fear. Fear makes people push harder. This doesn't mean becoming arrogant. It means becoming grounded. You are allowed to trust your own judgment without narrating it. You are allowed to let decisions stand. And when people realize they cannot extract explanations from you on demand, something shifts. They stop testing you. They stop probing. They stop pushing, because they sense something solid underneath you. Your words gain weight because they are rare. Your presence sharpens because it is contained. You are no longer performing, you are standing. And standing calmly, without explanation, is one of the most powerful positions a person can take. For anger is the shortcut to losing control. There is one reaction that gives people power over you faster than anything else. Anger, not because anger is rare, but because it is predictable. The moment someone challenges you, disrespects you, questions your competence, or hits a nerve, your body reacts before your mind can catch up. Your heart rate rises, your jaw tightens, your thoughts speed up, and suddenly, you feel an urge to respond now, to correct them, to put them in their place, to show strength. But that urge is exactly what the other person wants. Because anger is not power, anger is exposure. The moment you react emotionally, you reveal something critical. You can be moved. And if someone can move your emotions, they can steer your behavior. That is the real danger. Most provocations are not about truth. They are about control. The insult, the disrespectful comment, the subtle jab disguised as a joke. These are not random. They are tests. Tests designed to see if you will react. And when you do, you fail the test. Because now the other person knows what triggers you, what you care about too much, where your emotional weak points are. They don't need to defeat you. They just need to press the same button again. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He warned that an emotional person is easy to manipulate because their reactions follow patterns. Once the pattern is known, control is simple. This is why calm people are dangerous. They do not give away information. When someone insults them, they pause. When someone provokes them, they observe. When someone tries to dominate them emotionally, they refuse to play. This silence feels unsettling to the aggressor, because the aggressor wants chaos. They want reaction. They want proof that they matter. Anger gives them all three. Think about how anger actually looks from the outside. Raised voice, long explanations, defensive posture, emotional language. It doesn't look strong. It looks unstable. People don't remember why you were angry. They remember how you behaved. And reputation is built from memory, not intention. This is why anger is such a costly habit. It creates a permanent record. A single emotional outburst can undo years of quiet credibility. Now, this does not mean you suppress anger until it poisons you. It means you delay expression. Anger is information, not instruction. It tells you that a boundary exists, but it does not tell you how or when to enforce it. That decision must come from a calm mind. The most effective response to disrespect is not retaliation. It is composure, a pause, a steady look, a simple question like, "Are you finished?" That response does more damage than shouting ever could. It shifts the frame. Now they look emotional. Now they look unstable. Now they look small. You did not overpower them, you outlasted them. This is psychological dominance. The ability to remain calm when others are trying to provoke you signals something powerful. You are not desperate. You are not threatened. You are not reactive. And people instinctively submit to that. The next time anger rises, do not speak immediately. Let it pass through you without turning it into words. Breathe, observe, choose. Because the person who controls their reaction controls the situation, and the person who loses control hands the situation away. 5. The moment you confess without realizing it, there is a version of you that appears late at night. When the day is over, when the lights are softer, when defenses are low. This is the version that talks too much. It usually happens in moments that feel safe. A drink after work, a late night conversation, a relaxed setting where everyone seems friendly. You feel understood. You feel connected. You feel like it's finally okay to be real. And that's when it happens. You start confessing. Not loudly, not dramatically, casually. You say things like, "Honestly, I don't trust my boss. I'm thinking about leaving soon. I've been struggling more than I let on. I shouldn't say this, but..." The sentence always starts the same way, and the damage is always the same. You think you're bonding. You think you're building trust. You're not. You're creating leverage. These moments feel harmless because they're emotional, not strategic. You're tired, you're relaxed, your guard is down. That's exactly why they're dangerous. Niccolo Machiavelli understood that people are most honest when they feel safe and most vulnerable when they forget consequences. The person listening doesn't need to be malicious. They don't need to plan against you. All they need to do is remember. Because relationships change. The colleague you vent to today could be your competitor tomorrow. The friend you trust now could repeat your words later without meaning harm. The person who feels close tonight could feel distant next year. And once your words are out, you don't control where they go. Confessions feel powerful because they create intimacy fast. But fast intimacy is unstable intimacy. Real trust is built slowly. Confessions skip the process. And when intimacy is artificial, exposure is real. The most dangerous part is that nothing bad happens immediately. You wake up the next day and everything seems fine. No consequences, no backlash. So your brain learns the wrong lesson. It thinks that was safe. And the next time, you say a little more, then a little more. Until one day, the words come back to you changed, repeated, weaponized. Now you're anxious. Now you're careful.
No, yeah.
Not because you've gained power, but because you've lost it. Here's the rule most people never learn. Vulnerability without control is weakness. This doesn't mean becoming cold or distant. It means becoming selective. The most powerful people are often the most personable, but also the least transparent. They listen more than they speak. They let others reveal themselves. They don't rush to be known. They give energy, not information. Notice how charismatic people operate. You feel close to them. You enjoy their presence. You feel understood. But when you think back, you realize something strange. You know very little about their fears, their plans, their private struggles. That's not an accident. That's discipline. When you talk less about yourself, others talk more. And when others talk more, you learn. You learn what motivates them, what they resent, what they want. Information flows toward silence. Next time you feel the urge to confess, pause. Ask yourself one question. Would I still want this repeated in a different room? If the answer is no, keep it. Not everything needs to be shared to be real. Not every truth needs an audience. Privacy is not deception. It's protection. The strongest position is being emotionally warm and strategically quiet. And once you master that balance, you stop giving people pieces of yourself they haven't earned. That's when your words stop betraying you. 6. When your intelligence turns against you, there is a quiet mistake smart people make more than anyone else. They talk too much because they can. You notice flaws others miss. You see inefficiencies. You understand systems faster. And when you see something wrong, your mouth opens almost automatically. You correct, you explain, you improve. It feels helpful, it feels generous, it feels like leadership. But in the real world of power, this habit slowly destroys your position. Because intelligence, when displayed carelessly, creates enemies. Every time you point out someone's mistake, even gently, you bruise their ego. Every time you offer advice that wasn't requested, you imply superiority. Every time you fix something publicly, you humiliate without intending to. People don't hear your logic, they hear your dominance. And dominance, when exposed too early, invites resistance. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He warned that outshining others, especially superiors or peers, is one of the fastest ways to invite sabotage. Not because people hate competence, but because they hate feeling inferior. The person you corrected will smile, they might even thank you, but inside, something hardens. They wait, they watch, they look for the moment you slip. Because now, your intelligence is no longer admired, it is threatening. There is another cost most people never see. When you give your insight freely, constantly, you lower its value. Think about it. If you are always the one solving problems, always jumping in, always fixing mistakes, you become the mechanic, not the architect. You are useful but replaceable. Your ideas are treated like tools, not authority. People start expecting your help instead of respecting it. They come to you when things are broken, not when decisions are made. And when promotions, influence, or credit are distributed, you are overlooked. Why? Because you taught everyone that your intelligence is free. Power respects scarcity. Advice that is always available is ignored. Advice that is withheld becomes valuable. This is the discipline most intelligent people lack. They don't know when to stay quiet. There is a dark rule in human dynamics. If you prevent a mistake before it happens, no one thanks you. If you allow a mistake to happen, then fix it calmly afterward, you are seen as indispensable. This feels cruel at first. You think, but I could have saved them the trouble. Yes, and you would have received nothing for it. No respect, no leverage, no authority, just exhaustion. Silence is not incompetence, it is timing. Let others struggle. Let them attempt. Let them fail in small, survivable ways. When they finally ask, genuinely ask, That is when you speak. And when you speak, then, your words land with weight. Your mouth should not prove your intelligence. Your results should. There is also a hidden psychological advantage in withholding correction. People reveal themselves. They show you how they think, how they decide, how they justify errors. Information you never get when you interrupt too early. The quiet observer learns more than the loud expert. The moment you stop correcting everyone, something strange happens. People stop competing with you. They stop feeling threatened. They underestimate you. And underestimation is one of the most powerful positions you can occupy. Let them think they are smarter. Let them think they are leading. Meanwhile, you see the board clearly. Your intelligence becomes invisible and therefore untouchable. This is not about playing dumb, it's about playing patient. Because the sharpest mind in the room is not the one that speaks the most. It's the one who knows exactly when to speak and when silence will do more damage. 7. The promise prison. There is one sentence that feels harmless, even generous, but quietly destroys your power. A promise. You say it to ease tension. You say it to avoid conflict. You say it to make someone calm down right now. And in doing so, you trap your future self. Most promises are not made from strength. They are made from discomfort. Someone pressures you, a boss, a partner, a friend, a family member. They want certainty. They want reassurance. They want control over what you will do next. You feel the weight of their expectation, and instead of pausing, instead of creating space, your mouth escapes. I promise I'll handle it. I promise I'll change. I promise I'll be there. The tension disappears instantly, but the cost arrives later. A promise is not just words, it is a contract with time. The moment you make it, you surrender flexibility. You lock yourself into a future version of events you cannot fully predict, and now your mind is no longer free. Part of your attention is always occupied by that obligation, that deadline, that expectation. You live in quiet debt. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this danger clearly. He observed that people are quick to promise when they are weak and slow to deliver when reality interferes, and every broken promise erodes authority. Not loudly, gradually. People stop trusting your word. They stop taking you seriously. They stop preparing for your failure. Even worse, you stop trusting yourself. Because deep down, you know how many promises were made just to escape discomfort. This is how the promise prison forms. You become overcommitted, overstretched, and quietly resentful. Not because others are demanding too much, but because you agreed too easily. Every unnecessary promise turns into pressure. Every broken promise turns into reputation damage. And even promises you keep have a cost, because now you must serve them even when circumstances change. The Machiavellian mistake is not breaking promises. The mistake is making them casually. Powerful people are extremely conservative with their word. They do not rush to reassure. They do not use promises as emotional currency. They understand that their yes must be rare to be respected. Instead of promising, they delay. I need to think about it. I'm not sure yet. I'll confirm when I know. These phrases feel weak to insecure people, but they signal strength to observers. They communicate control over time. When you refuse to promise immediately, you create leverage. You force the other person to sit with uncertainty, not you, and here is the paradox. When you underpromise and later deliver, people are impressed. When you overpromise and barely deliver, people are disappointed, even if the result is the same. Perception matters. A person who keeps few promises appears solid. A person who makes many promises appears unstable. This is why strategic restraint with words is essential. A promise should feel heavy in your mouth. If it doesn't, you're giving it away too cheaply. Before you promise anything, ask yourself one question. If circumstances change, can I still keep this without damaging myself? If the answer is no, stay silent. Silence protects. Flexibility. Flexibility protects power. You are not required to commit just because someone wants certainty. Certainty is a luxury, not a right. The strongest position is not being dependable to everyone. It is being reliable to yourself. When your word becomes rare, it becomes valuable. When it becomes valuable, people listen more closely. When people listen closely, you no longer need to explain. This is how power consolidates. Not through noise, not through reassurance, but through disciplined restraint. By now, you should see the pattern clearly. Every major loss of power in your life didn't start with an attack. It started with a a sentence spoken too quickly, too emotionally, too honestly, too generously. You didn't lose control because someone outsmarted you. You lost it because you revealed yourself before it was necessary. And the world is very good at punishing people who reveal too much. This is the final shift you must make. Not learning what to say, learning when not to speak at all. Because silence is not emptiness. Silence is position. When you speak less, people listen more carefully. When you explain less, people assume more competence. When you reveal less, people project more power onto you. This is not manipulation. This is human psychology. People fear what they cannot read. They respect what does not chase approval. They follow what feels solid and unmoved. The mistake most people make is thinking silence makes them invisible. It doesn't. It makes you undefined. And undefined things feel dangerous. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He wrote that most people judge by appearances, not by truth. And if appearances shape reality, then controlling appearances is controlling outcomes. When you talk too much, you define yourself for others. You lock yourself into a shape they can manage. When you speak carefully, sparingly, deliberately, you stay fluid. Hard to predict, hard to corner, hard to defeat. This is why the most powerful people rarely explain their plans, rarely justify their choices, rarely defend themselves emotionally. They let others guess. And guessing creates hesitation. Hesitation creates space. Space creates power. Look back at the 7 situations you've learned. Silence, victory, anger, intimacy, defense, competence, promises. In every case, the mistake was the same. Speaking to relieve discomfort instead of to improve position. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. You start noticing how often people talk themselves down, how they negotiate against themselves, how they beg to be understood instead of standing still. And you realize something unsettling. Most people are not oppressed. They are exposed. They give away leverage because they were taught that openness is virtue and restraint is cruelty. That is a lie. Restraint is sovereignty. You don't need to be cold. You don't need to be cruel. You don't need to be silent all the time. You need to be selective. Every word should pass one test. Does this improve my position? If the answer is no, you swallow it. This discipline will feel unnatural at first. Silence will itch. Stillness will feel heavy. People may test you more aggressively when you stop feeding them information. That's how you know it's working. They are trying to provoke leaks. Do not give them any. Let them talk. Let them reveal. Let them assume. You will notice something else happen over time. People start respecting you without knowing why. They hesitate before challenging you. They speak more carefully around you. Not because you demanded it, but because your presence feels contained. And containment is power. You are not here to be liked. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to move cleanly through a world that watches, records, and remembers. Your mouth is the gate. Most people leave it wide open. You won't anymore. You will speak when it counts. You will stay silent when it matters. And you will let others underestimate you while you stay in control. That is the final lesson. Say less, mean more, and let silence do the work for you.